Lin summons Tong and suggests going shopping for their new place. And this time, to his surprise, Tong responds by nodding. He wonders if Tong will be more conscious as she goes through the level up. They arrive at Suzaka Street for some shopping. Lin thinks that even though he has 10,000 credit points, he needs to spend sensibly. He decides to spend around 1,000. However, he is taken aback to learn that a mere bedsheet would cost him 800 credit points. The shopkeeper explains that due to the city facing a shortage of goods, many items' prices have been raised. Lin decides to forgo the purchase, considering it is rather warm these days. However, he is astounded to find Tong with a large stockpile of tissues and rolls. Despite their abundance, Lin gladly purchases them for Tong. She then goes on a spree, picking up snacks, clothes, and even an assortment of weapons. On top of that, the system even requests 500 credit points to increase his inventory storage. By the end, Lin has spent 9,174 credit points on shopping, leaving him with only 826. Although it pains him to spend so much, he can't help but notice how delighted Tong seems. Her favorability towards him has also increased significantly. In the evening, after a long day, while resting in his mansion, Lin decides to check out the missions. They need to earn credit points, or they will run out of money soon. The association requires them to complete 12 missions in 3 months. However, the beginner mission offers only around 2,000 points. Lin then checks the moderate missions. He thinks they're better with higher rewards and a chance to level up Tong. To his surprise, someone has taken those missions. He quickly accepts the last remaining one. The next day, in Food City, Lin arrives to complete the mission. He reaches the Food City handling area and informs the members that he is there to investigate the matter of missing food. One man shows him the directions to reach the mountain cave where the food is stored. He adds that this ghost is hard to find, so he might have to stay there for a few days. After Lin leaves, the other guy asks his friend if this boy can even handle it. The man replies that if he is seeking death, then all they can do is let him leave to his own way. After traveling for a while, Lin finally reaches the food storage entrance. One of the guards asks Lin if he's there to deal with the ghost, and he replies yes. They go inside, and the guard explains that the hunger ghost doesn't harm people. It's a ghost that eats a lot. Recently, a ghost spirit master came, but once a human entered, it disappeared, making it hard to find. Lin summons Tong and asks if she can sense the ghost aura. She activates her evil mode, and this time, a third eye appears on her forehead. Lin wonders if this is her new ability. Lin realizes that the hunger ghost is hiding in one of the guard's pockets. The guard then gets possessed by the hunger ghost and lunges towards Lin to attack. Lin manages to stop him with a kick to his face, as his body is already twice as strong as a normal human. But it seems the ghost took no damage as he regains his footing immediately and dashes towards Lin for a second attack. But Tong grabs him by the neck and then puts her hand inside his mouth. She then takes out the spirit from the guard's body. The spirit escapes Tong's grasp and traps Lin and the surviving guard in a dark place. Lin realizes this is the ghost territory of the hunger ghost. Ghost territory is a personal space created by a ghost that can be controlled by it however it wants, and it is invisible to those who are outside of the ghost territory. Only high-ranking ghosts have ghost territory, which is unique from one another. The ghost then grabs the guard and eats him. Lin tries to save the guard, but the ghost's mouth appears under his leg and tries to devour him. He attacks it with his gold dagger to save himself, but the ghost is about to bite his leg off. Suddenly, he notices Tong's hands grabbing its mouth from outside the ghost territory and tears it apart, saving him. Lin is amazed to see Tong actually destroyed the ghost territory. Upon Lin's quick return to the handling area of Food City, a fellow member taunts him, questioning his courage. However, to his disbelief, Lin reports that the hunger ghost is eliminated. One of the members confirms that in fact the ghost aura in the food storage has disappeared. As Lin leaves, he's promised that his rewards will be delivered soon. Later at night, Lin receives his credit points, and the system also gives him a new mission. In this mission, he needs to upgrade his ghost spirit to a C rank through battle experience. And as a reward, Tong will gain the ability of Ghost Territory. Hunger Ghost was relatively weak among C ranks, so its Ghost Territory was weak. But if they were to encounter a high-level ghost, they might face casualties. To increase Tong's level in 3 days, he needs to complete a bunch of D-rank missions. On the next day, some members are talking about how all the D-rank missions are getting stolen the moment they come out. They wonder how others can finish missions so quickly. Lin and Tong are easily defeating the D-rank ghosts and are raising their experience while also earning credit points at the same time. Finally, Tong reaches the C rank and obtains her ghost territory, and Lin's body gets strengthened by 2 times. Near Lu City's second defense line, on a random deserted mountain, a ghost territory appears in the valley. Some B-rank ghost spirit masters spot it and decide to go inside and kill the evil spirit, as the ghost drops will be plentiful. They go in and start searching for the boss and treasures, but find none. Upon entering the room, something surprised them, but to their relief, it's just a red wedding dress on a cloth hanger. Their leader checks the dress and says, "This thing is weird." One member adds, "If there were a ghost, our spirits would have reacted. It's definitely not here." As they leave, one member suddenly shouts, "It's here," and points towards the mirror. They immediately try to summon their spirits, but their ghost spirits do not respond. The leader realizes that this is a rare ghost territory that can hide the senses of ghost spirits, and they shouldn't have entered, so they attempt to escape, but the door gets closed. The spirit appears and swiftly kills them all. The next morning, Leader Yan and her team arrive to investigate the scene. The leader informs that she's been tracking its path for half a month, and finally, it appeared and went back to running and hiding. They only know it's looking for something, as it came all the way from High City to Lu City. She then instructs her team to continue pursuing it, also advising them to notify all of Lu City's official ghost masters to not go out of the city to do missions. On the next day, Lin, still cautious of the vast danger and unaware of Lu City being in lockdown, notices an increase in C-rank missions. Previously, those were always snatched up, leaving him curious about the sudden availability. However, he quickly dismisses his thoughts, deciding to take the opportunity while he is already outside the city. It is also a chance to test Tong Tong's new ability. He accepts the C-rank mission, involving the elimination of the fruit forest's evil spirit. Upon reaching the designated location, he comes across a body hanging from a tree. Lin figures out that it must be a farmer's unfortunate corpse. Strangely, after walking straight for a while, he finds himself back at the starting point with the farmer's corpse. He is more surprised when he looks back and sees more than 10 identical corpses. He realizes that though it looks exactly like the fruit forest, it might be a ghost territory. Suddenly, a rope lunges towards him. He tries to block it, but it passes through his hand and wraps around his neck. Just as it tightens its grip, Tong materializes and comes to his rescue. The corpses rush towards him with killing intent, and Lin wastes no time in commanding Tong to attack. She transforms into her evil mode and swiftly carries out the order, effortlessly defeating them all. For his victory in the battle, Lin gains 600 spirit experience, 5 favorability points, and 1 ghost spirit pill. Additionally, he acquires a damaged ghost rope. Lin can't help but thinks how swiftly the fruit forest's evil spirit was defeated. It hadn't even triggered Tong's ghost territory. Lin thinks about the potential earnings from selling these items in the market. Meanwhile, in Lu City's outer area, there are rumors about a formidable ghost that claimed the lives of some strong spirit masters. Among the whispers, the name Lin Feng circulates. He is praised as a newcomer who surprisingly secured a mansion on his first attempt at the house distribution exam. Some even suggest that Lin might possess a physics constitutions. Two men observed and overheard these rumors and quietly discussed. They believed that Lin might not be a physics constitution, but his ghost spirit potential was extremely high. They planned to secretly kill Lin to obtain his powerful ghost spirit, a prize they believed would make them wealthy. Under the cover of night, in the Ghost Master's residence area, two Ghost Masters approached Lin's mansion. A young boy stopped them, sharing the news that Lin was currently on an outer city mission. The boy grew suspicious and asked why they were looking for him. The Masters casually replied that they were just a little curious. The two men concluded that they needed to leave the city and track down Lin. Their senior laughed, proposing that eliminating Lin outside would be less noticeable, and he added that after killing Lin, they could use his shroud bag to capture the powerful ghost spirit. They could stand to gain a huge sum, possibly even in the millions. And they formed a plan to find Lin Feng. Somewhere in the outer city area, Lin wakes up and spots Tong Tong outside the camp. He asks if she kept guarding the whole night. She blushes, and he gently pats her head, praising her. He connects his ghost device and starts browsing for more C-rank missions. Soon, several messages flood in, including a warning about a formidable evil spirit outside the city. All the Ghost Masters are instructed to quickly return to the city for safety. One of the messages is from a classmate, informing him that two suspicious men in their 30s had been asking for him. Upon hearing that he was not in the city, they left. Lin suspects that these men are a formidable threat, likely C or B rank hunters with intentions to harm him. He realizes that they might not be able to find him as the outer city is so big, but then another thought strikes him. If the hunters have dared to come out of the city when the outer city has a strong evil spirit, they must be capable. Observing the mission panel, he notices that in the past few days, he is the only one who has accepted an E rank or higher mission. According to the system's rules, once a mission is picked, it instantly disappears from the mission panel. This means that others would have to continuously swipe their devices to see the mission details after he has accepted one. As soon as they learn that Lin has accepted a mission, they will quickly go there and camp to ambush him. Taking advantage of this, Lin accepts a mission to eliminate an evil spirit at Xiaofeng Mountain, but instead, he makes his way to the quarry where there is another mission to eliminate the quarry's rock ghost. Lin thought there is no rule that he can't complete a mission, then accept it. When the two men check the panel and find that Lin had accepted the Xiaofeng Mountain mission, they race there, thinking they can reach it before him. Hiding in an old broken house, they wait there to ambush him. Meanwhile, in the quarry cave, Lin confronts and defeats the evil golem spirit. He then returns to the residence area to claim his reward. However, the staff insisted that no one had taken the mission. Lin requests the staff to recheck, and he finds that the mission has truly vanished. At the same time, in Xiaofeng Mountain, one of the men notices that another mission has disappeared in a quarry area. He instructs his partner to remain in place and await Lin's arrival, warning him not to attack but to inform him immediately. 2 hours later, the man arrives at the quarry residence area. Questioning the staff, he learns that a boy of about 15 or 16 had recently completed the mission. In anger, he grabs the staff's collar, demanding to know when the boy had left and in which direction he had gone. Terrified, the staff points in the direction and stammers that just a short while ago, the boy had passed that way. After the man rushed off, the staff sent a message to Lin. Our protagonist had actually paid the staff with 5,000 credit points to mislead anyone trying to find him. Satisfied that his plan was laid successfully, Lin realized that one of his pursuers was now trailing him to the Cold Waters Cave, while he would head back to Xiaofeng Mountain to confront the other. With grim determination, he hurried towards his next target, ready to face the threat head-on. Suddenly, Tong emerges from her token and covers Lin with her protective barrier. Lin notices an evil spirit moving rapidly across the sky. He realizes that this is Tong's newly acquired skill, Ghost Stealth, which she's using to conceal their presence. The system informs him that Tong has awakened an additional ability in the ghost territory called Ghost Stealth. Additionally, Lin gains a lucky draw chance. Excited by his unexpected luck, Lin decides to try out the system's lucky draw. The system displays a wheel with various skills on it, and Lin decides to give it a shot. After spinning the wheel, he receives the skill Ghost Artifact Repair, which allows him to repair and upgrade ghost artifacts. The repair ability is directly built into his brain, and this method requires Tong's assistance to use it effectively. Excited to test his new skill, Lin retrieves the damaged ghost rope he acquired after defeating the fruit forest's evil spirit. With Tong's help, he successfully repairs the damaged rope. The system informs him that the rope can be used to bind ghosts. Lin is pleased, believing it might be useful in the upcoming combat. As Lin continues his journey, he hears someone calling him Brat. He turns around to see the Ghost Masters. A young woman among them asks if Lin is a Ghost Master trainee and if he had seen a red light. They are investigating the red dress ghost. Without waiting for his response, she dismisses the question, saying that if he had truly seen it, he would not have survived. She warns Lin that the outer city is extremely dangerous and advises him to return to the city to avoid harm. After they left, Lin thinks about how even Tong was afraid of that red light and why it was being chased by the Ghostmaster Association's members. He understands that the red light is the reason for the city's lockdown, and luckily, he is heading in a different direction.